And as we say, there are people who take their children back to school and they are not asked to pay. The school knows they will pay. Now, such people don't use cash. You go for medical treatment, the doctors will treat you even before you pay, because they know you will pay. Now, the difference between such kind of running a budget, whether national or personal, is when people begin to wonder whether you'll be able to pay. Then you must turn up with cash.
A principal economist at Makerere University Business School, Dr. Fred Muhumuza, asserts that Uganda ought to drastically reduce borrowing, focus on revenue collection scaling, and service delivery in order to sustain a developing economy.
There is a procedure in government they call a commitment control system. Don't commit government if you do not have cash. So even up to today, people, accounting officers, will always wait for a warrant. Now, a warrant is not necessarily cash, and that's why the deviation comes in. A warrant is simply saying you can spend up to 20 million this quarter, but you still have to wait for the cash to come in. Now, unfortunately, some people have used the warrant to still commit government, deviating from the cash budget. And that is where the whole talk of arrears.
According to the June 2023 Auditor General's report, Uganda's public debt has risen to unprecedented levels, reaching 96.1 trillion shillings, of which 44 trillion shillings is domestic, while 52.8 trillion is from foreign sources.
The national budgets for financial years 2023-2024, 2024-25 prioritized debt repayment. But what is the opportunity cost for paying this debt?
Yeah, when there is debt, then you find that you're concentrating more to pay debt than to provide for the different sectors. So you find that there will be less funding for the education institutions, there's less funding especially for research, you find there is less funding for the appropriate equipment required in hospitals.
When I see the debt going close to 34 trillion in a budget of 72 trillion, then you domestic and foreign, plus what we call refinancing, because you have refinancing, meaning the money has matured, but we don't have it to pay back those who lent us. So you do an accounting book to say, leave me with your money, but I'll continue to pay you interest. But now remember, that's not new money, but it's sitting in the 72. So 12 is sitting in the 72, but it's not new money. That brings you down to 60. Interest payment is about 8.5, 8.7. That's not going to come to me and you to offer services. It is to pay back those who lent government. That makes it 20 trillion already out of the budget. There is a 9 trillion to Bank of Uganda. That's not going to come to me and you to fix our roads and improve health care. So you're already on 29. Then you are going to add on 3.5, which is to external debt. You have entered 33, 34 trillion. Money in the budget, but which is not going to speak to the needs of the year. Now that's a true cost of debt.
Despite minimizing activities like trips out of the country, which were considered wasteful, there still manifests inefficient utilization of resources which impact expenditures in the long run. As we enter the financial year 2024-25, government accounting officers have been employed to minimize unnecessary spending and check wastage. Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News in Kampala.